The techniques concerned in the 1500 PPC is of such a nature that there is no hard and fast rules. You cannot say that this is a magic formula and what you do, if you do this specific thing, you will be able to shoot a full score. Everything that I will be showing you and demonstrate during this video is all just stuff that works for Mark Leersen, has clearly shown me that it does work. This is only guidelines to support you. There's a lot of stuff that influences your ability to shoot during a championship. Influences that may have an effect on your capability in this event is your weight. If you are seriously overweight, you might have difficulty in your sitting position. Your build also have quite a effect and influence on your shooting capability, since the way that you will be sitting and kneeling will change according to your build. Medical conditions will hamper you in certain effects. If you have back problems, for instance, you will not be able to bend as much as you are supposed to. Strength has got a serious influence on your ability, since the firearm that you will be using weighs in the region of 1.8 kilogram. Swinging a gun like this around and keeping it up for 24 shots at a time is quite strenuous, and you need to have the necessary strength to do that. Stress on that day, during the competition as well, in your social private life, will have an influence on your ability to shoot and to focus and concentrate on the day's event. Your range conditions will differ from the different range to the other. Weather conditions will also have a serious influence on your ability of the day. Now we come to the equipment that's needed for the 1500 PPC shoot. Let's start with the clothing. It is preferred to shoot with a cap, since it will help the sun out, keep the sun out of your eyes, as well as sweat that will drop down your forehead and maybe go into your eyes. Then the shirt is quite important, preferably a long sleeve shirt which is a light material. It must also be an elastic shirt. Materials which doesn't stretch will hamper you from the movements that you need to make during the shooting exercise. Then we go to the trousers. The first thing that's important of the trousers is that it must have loops, so that you can put your belt through the loops and keep the belt consistently on the same level. It is also important to have a set of trousers which is only used for shooting, so that you can, each time you get to the shooting range, your gun will be on exactly the same position as the previous time. Using denim trousers does work, but the material is a little bit strong and doesn't stretch easily. And loose pants like this police uniform style pants works very nicely, since it's loose around your legs and it's not as thick as denim material. Then we go to the shoe. It is preferred to shoot with boots, so you have every little bit of extra comfort and support which you can get out of your shoes. Especially in the sitting position, it helps you to lock your legs better, so that you have the stability that's needed for an accurate shoot. This is the clothing in which I will be participating in all my championships. As always with everything in the shooting sport, safety comes first. So, in your safety, personal safety, you need to have a decent set of protective. I personally prefer to shoot with lenses instead of this amber yellow lenses some people prefer. Then earmuffs. Damage caused by shooting is unfortunately permanent. So it is necessary to have a decent set of earmuffs which will last you a very long time and will save your ears from permanent damage. Having a clip like this that goes onto your belt will help you to have while you are changing targets or scoring. it just makes it easier to get out of the way. Now we go to, I suppose, the most important thing, the firearm that's used. There are some people that prefer using pistols in the main match, although there are very few and far between. Unfortunately, I do not have one of the better quality pistols like the 656 or Target Champion Smith & Wesson, but this Glock 34 will be good enough to use as a beginner's gun for the 1500. Now to the revolvers. This is the firearm that most of us have to our availability. The standard Smith & Wesson K38 .38 special revolver. This is what I started with, and my own personal starting score was 1368, my very first score that I ever shot in trials. During the European Open, the distinguished match was won with a standard gun like this, with a score of 588 out of a possible 600. That works out to around about 1470 out of a possible 1500 if the main match were to be shot with a standard gun like this. So you can start with it. The things that on this gun would be the first thing to change is the trigger action. You have the action tuned so that it is lighter and more positive in its action, and all of the parts must be aligned. There are very few that are able to do this tuning that is necessary on the action. Then we go to the slightly modified standard revolver. This revolver is exactly the same as the previous one. The only difference is it has an extended grip for the double-handed shoot that's used in the 1500 PPC, so that you can have a support for your pinky of your supporting hand. Then also it has a barrel weight that helps with the recoil, so that it is not as heavy as it will be with the light barrel. But the most important thing that's added to this revolver is its sight trap. The sight trap has a preset sighting which is set before on the different distances. One for 7 and 15 meters, one for 25 meters, and then one for 50-meter shooting. This will help you to have the aiming point which you desire, instead of having to compromise with as which you would need on a standard sight trap. This is also, except for the free settings, it has a minor adjustment for elevation for a cloudy or a bright sunny day. Now we go to the privately customized revolver. This revolver, for instance, was customized by myself, and it has a 1 in 10 twist Douglas premium barrel with micro grooves. It has a set of 0 grips that's made for the PPC, also with the added horn for the little finger. It's built on a Smith & Wesson Model 19 action, so it is a standard action that was tuned. It has an extended cylinder release which assists you in the quick opening of your cylinder when you have to reload. The whole action also has been tuned, and then it has a Merkel tuning sight trap. This sight trap, however, has got 4 sight settings, so you can set one for 7, 15, 25 and 50 meters respectively. On this sight trap, the front sight is used for your minor elevation changes. The last firearm that I have here as example is the Merkel Tuning Grandmaster 2. This gun was given to me by Rolf Merkel and Sylvia Merkel in Germany during the European Championship. This firearm has all the basic same features as the previous, except that this barrel has a 1 in 12 twist polygon barrel, which is especially used and good for the cutters. This revolver also has the 4 set sight trap, for the 4 different distances. After all of these firearms that we dealt with, you obviously need a holster to draw it from. Now there is a great variety of holsters that can be used in this item. You can start off with a standard holster like this, which is made of leather or some of Cordera, but they are not very fast in the drawing action, but that's all you use it. There are quite a large variety of different holsters to be used. That is the most elementary one, and this one made by Rescom will be your most advanced one. This holster has only got the little finger on the inside of the holster, which latches onto the trigger guard of your revolver and keeps your revolver securely in place. And it has a little knobby at the bottom which goes into the barrel, which stabilizes the barrel there. It also has a locking system on top which will lock the gun while it's in the holster, so that it cannot fall out while changing targets and stuff like this. This holster is very expensive to acquire, but once you have it, it will last you a lifetime, and the drawing action out of this is very, very quick and efficient, since you use the back of the holster to slide your middle finger on, and your fingers will hit your grip exactly on the same position as you will be using the gun. Then there's also different belts that one can use. The normal leather belt is good, but you will need to have a metal insert on the inside so that it can stabilize your holster so that it doesn't swing around or move around when you draw. This, however, is not the best possible. This holster that I'm using has a Cordera belt that straps around onto an inner belt. The inner belt is placed through your trouser loops and tightened up to your size. Then the outer belt is just attached to the inner belt so that you can have a quick change of different holsters and belts as you go along during your different events in your championship. Then we go over to the speed loaders. There is a variety of speed loaders available, but there's only one real one to use. The first one that I have here is a very cheap type of speed loader. It only holds the rounds in position by means of a little coil spring on the back of the speed loader, which hooks into the rim of the round. When you drop this speed loader, the rounds will fall out easily. It also wiggles around while it is in position. Then there's the HKS holsters, which has a much better action that keeps the rounds in position, but a twisting action is needed to release the rounds. This action will sometimes give you hassles, since you have to hold the cylinder tight as well while you are reloading, otherwise the cylinder will only turn around. In this speed loader, the rounds also wiggles around, so especially with the flat wad cutters, it's difficult to get the rounds aligned to the cylinder. The best of all the speed loaders that I've ever used is the Safariland. This speed loader holds the rounds tightly and securely in place, and it is spring loaded, so the moment you release it, it forces the rounds out, and it will push a new round through the dirt of a dirty cylinder, which will help you to have positive reloads while busy. Now, to load the speed loaders, you can acquire yourself some of these trays. So while you're at home, you can load the speed loader loading tray with all of your ammunition, and thereafter it's only a matter of putting the speed loader over the rounds, give it a quick twist, and your speed loader is ready for use. One tray like this holds 84 rounds. These trays are then placed in a tray like this, either made of plastic or you can make one out of wood for yourself. Placing the loading block inside of it will help you while you are walking down the range and moving to the different distances. Also, you can empty your cases into the your tray as you go along. Then we have a small little material bag that hooks onto your belt, in which you can eject your cases into. This is not a necessity, but it's nice to use and it gives you a place to throw your speed loaders in when you are doing your reloads, as well as your empty cases, so that it doesn't get lost. Now, obviously the speed loaders has to be attached to your person, and that is done by means of pouches. Now the first one that I have here is a normal leather pouch, which is quite flimsy and not very secure, and it needs a knip to cover it so that it doesn't fall out while you're moving. After that, we have the spring-loaded type, also made by Safariland, which can be used. It's quite nice to use. Then you have this plastic molded type of speed loader pouch. Unfortunately, the belt goes nearly in the center of the speed loader, so half of the speed loader are forced into your body by the speed loader on the belt. The most efficient speed loader pouch to be used is this triple speed loader pouch made by Safariland. The rounds snip in and it's kept in place by this top spring-loaded cover. It works very nice and it moves over your belt at the angle so that it stands, your speed loader stands away from your body while in position. So it's easy to get hold of it and to grip it to draw. Some of the equipment that will also be used during a competition is a decent timer with large numbers so that you can clearly see the time as you are shooting, so that you can know how much time is left in each section of the event. I use two different types of timers. The wrist timer, which I attach to my wrist during the competition to see how much time I've got left. This CD 8000 timer I use during practices to give me the timing of the shoot, as well as to show me the intervals between shots, which helps me in getting my rhythm in the correct order so that I can have a fluent shoot. Now the targets that you will need is first of all a cardboard back so that it's a little bit more stable. Then you have a full-size target which is glued onto the carton backboard. After this, with the glue and the brush that always goes with you to the range, you will only need to put in new centers like these, or if you are at the closer ranges, the smaller types. It is much cheaper and easier to use only centers instead of replacing the whole target. These centers do not need to be glued onto the target, but can be attached by means of a staple gun like this one. It's quick, it's easy, and you can take off the old targets if they become too thick. The other thing that I also like to use, especially for my 50-meter shooting, is a water level like this, just to make sure that your target is 100% upright. Because of all the amount of shots that's shot during this 1500 ppc, you will have to have some cleaning equipment with you on the range. Now, first of all of the equipment is a toothbrush type of cleaning brush. This one has a larger head piece on the one side and a smaller, thinner one on the other side. This helps you to go into the small places in your revolver or pistol that needs to be cleaned. And then I've got this brush for the cylinder, which has 6 different brushes all in one, so that you can use it to clean your cylinder quickly between the different shoots. It also has a single brush for a little bit of serious dirt on a specific spot that you need to get rid of. Then for the more serious cleaning, I have a stainless steel brush like this that you only use on your cylinder and very rarely. It's not good to use it on a frequent basis. For the barrel, I only use a hard nylon brush. I do not use any copper brushes or brass brushes anymore. I only use a hard nylon brush to clean away the dirt that's in the cylinder. After cleaning your cylinder and your barrel in between distances, quickly pull through cloths like this through it, just to take out the excess dirt that's been loosened. Also, because of the heat that goes into the action while shooting, your firearm heats up and needs to be lubricated since it's metal on metal movement. I like using WD-40 as it doesn't have a tendency to heat up and become sticky. Or for those people that can get hold of it, especially inside of the action, I use the Smith & Wesson wax that is made especially for the Smith & Wesson revolvers by the Club 30 in Germany. General tools that will be needed on your range to help you with the fixing of your gun in case of emergency is your general set of Allen keys for all the different sizes that's needed on your gun. A star screwdriver and a flat screwdriver, especially for your sight settings, get that right, tightening up your grip and your sight plate of your revolver. Then I have a rod that I use for those instances where you sometimes do have a bullet that gets stuck in your barrel. I have a stainless steel rod that's covered with insulation tape so that it doesn't damage my barrel, and then a very small little hammer just to punch the bullet out of the barrel. Then we go over to the sight plug. To assist you in having a very clear sight picture with the wear and tear, your sights start becoming shiny. Now with a calcium carbide lamp like this, it helps you blackening up your sights to such an extent that there is no shine on the sights anymore, and it's totally completely black. It's quite expensive to get hold of it, and getting calcium carbide is difficult, but with a little bit of effort you can get hold of that. Sometimes when you buy the lamp, it will have a lighter of its own affixed to it. I do not like that system. I like carrying a normal lighter with me to light up my calcium carbide lamp. The little sieve is used to take out the calcium carbide that has already been used. And a thing that is very important, especially where firearm licensing are very strict and the law is very stringent, it is needed to take your packet of firearm licenses with you for all the firearms that you have with you for the championship. If you have firearms that's only used for sporting purposes, it's nice to put it in a little bag and keep it permanently in your shooting case so that you do not forget about it. Then for your spotting at 50 meters especially, and sometimes 25 meters for your sighter shots, I make use of a 20 enlargement spotting scope. This scope gives me quite a clear picture of where I'm shooting and where my shots were, but unfortunately it's quite heavy and it's difficult to carry with me, especially if you go to international championships. For traveling, I use a set of 10 enlargement binoculars. It's small, it's compact, and you can see clear enough what's going on to be able to set your sights for your shoot on that specific day. Then you will be shooting in a kneeling position and prone. For that I use mats. For my 25 meter kneeling I have a smallish car mat, just so that there's no rocks and stuff sticking into my knees when I go down quickly for my kneeling shots. It can be very irritating having a piece of stone stuck in your knee while shooting. For your prone position I use one of these backpacker sponges, which is around about a centimeter thick, but it's long enough to lie down prone on. Ammunition used for this 1500 BPC shoot differ from firearm to firearm. The type of bullet that you use, the type of powder that you use, and the type of case that you are using will all have an influence on your shooting. All of these firearms that's been custom tuned for the 1500 BPC has a tendency to have a very light strike and needs Federal primers or Winchester primers to work consistently. You will have to do testing of your own with your own firearm, and having a ransom rest like this one will assist you in that. The ransom rest simulates the recoil of your hand and will be able to go back to its original position before you have shot your first shot. So you can repeat your shots one after the other and have a consistent group, so that you can compare the different types of loads and ammunition to one another. It's no use trying to compare the ammunition if you do not have a consistent base to shoot from. If you shoot out of your hand without a scope on your firearm, you have a tendency to have more of a human factor involved than what is actually ammunition to ammunition. The speed of the rounds are very important. If you shoot hollow-based wad cutters, it is preferred that they must not go outside of the range of 680 feet per second up to 750. The reason for that is if you go too slow, you get bullets stuck in your barrel, or you get pressure explosions where the load is too low. If the bullet is too fast, the skirt of your bullet will separate from the bullet, will get stuck in your barrel, and the next bullet will hit it, which will cause a bulge in your barrel. If you shoot double base wad cutters, you will be looking at around about a speed of 830 feet per second for good, accurate consistency. It does, however, depend on the type of powder and the firearm that you are using. I prefer using Winchester brass since it's quite soft and you can reload them quite a couple of times before they start cracking. The first thing that must be remembered in each and every different position that you are shooting in each section of the shoot is that you must be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you will not be able to concentrate and shoot as well as you are supposed to. The human body is quite a lazy thing, so all the muscles that you strain would like to relax. Therefore, it's important to make sure that the position in which you are standing or sitting is of such a nature that there is as many as possible muscles that's totally relaxed and you can enjoy your shoot. It's no use going home with stiff, sore muscles. Also, your equipment must be spaced in such a way on your belt that it's comfortable and easily reached. Going to the grip of the gun. When you grip your firearm, you must make sure that it is straight into your hand, into the V of your hand, and you grip it as high as possible onto the grip. The hand gripping the gun does not try and strangle the gun. It's just a slight grip to make sure that the gun is well held. The second hand, tighten up your grip. The hand is placed around, no fingers in front. If you place your finger on the trigger guard, it's got a tendency to either have a pull or a push action, especially when you're shooting fast. All your fingers wrap around your gun holding hand. When you look at your trigger pressure, you will be shooting double action most of the time, and therefore it is important that you learn to stage your trigger. Staging your trigger means that you pull your trigger quickly to a certain point, and then when your sights are totally correct, you just add that little bit more pressure to let the round go off. The better you can stage your revolver, the better you will be able to shoot accurate shots. This takes time and a lot of practice to get used to the staging of your trigger. When you stage your trigger to the point of braking, you have an even, clean pull to release the hammer. It must break clean, otherwise you will jerk it and you will not be able to shoot where you initially wanted the shot to be. After each shot, especially with the revolvers, you need to release your finger fully, so that all the parts in the action, which is very low spring tension, can go into its working positions again. So after each shot, make sure you release your finger totally until it touches the trigger guard before you start pulling again. Otherwise you will have an instance where you release your trigger and your hammer is not activated for the next shot. To understand the use of your sights, it is first important to know where to sight your gun in. When you are shooting from 7 meters and 15 meters, it is easy to see the target and to know where the center of the target is. Therefore, for 7 and 15 meters, you set your sights on a center hole. It is easy to acquire and easy to shoot. When you go to 25 meters, getting the center of a black space becomes more difficult. I personally prefer to use the point of the arrow. When the point of the arrow touches your front sight, you know that your target alignment will be right and the shot will go into the X. So you set your sight setting for that position, so that when you aim there, your shot will go here. At 50 meters, it is difficult seeing exactly where your arrow tip is. Therefore, you use your top square that's on of the arrow. You set your sights to the center of the square, which will give you quite nearly the same length as your X-ring. Therefore, if you move up and down anywhere in the square, you will still be within your 10th ring of your target. It is also easy to see white of the square, since the white will reflect well on your front side of your target. So it will be easy to see whether you are moving to the left or the right. All shots that's in line on that square will be in the 10. It's just a matter of whether it will be an X or a 10. As with ISSF shooting, it is very important to make sure that the focus of your eye is on your front sight. The front sight must be clearly visible and in full definition. Then you place your front sight in the middle and level with your rear sight. It is a basic thing, but most people tend to forget it. Most people's eye like running forward to the target to see where the previous shot went, or whether the sights are aligned. If you do not focus on your front sight, you will find it extremely difficult to shoot anything that looks like a group. Not even a good group, but just a group. The cheapest way to learn how to shoot the 1500 is by dry firing. Dry fire is very important. It gives you a lot of exercise and practice in the use of your gun, the different times that you use, without having the recoil, which can hide most of your mistakes. When you're doing dry firing, you will be able to practice the grip of your gun, the reloading, all of those things without actually shooting one single shot. You will also see whether you are pulling or pushing your gun while shooting off the rounds. Dry fire can also be done at home, which makes it much easier. Half an hour each evening at home will assist you a hell of a lot in getting a good grip when you go to the range. Also, dry firing assists you in making your muscles used to the position in which you are shooting. Standing with your gun like this is not a normal human position to be used frequently, and therefore you have to exercise your muscles to be able to do that without straining any of your muscles. While you are shooting, it is very important to remember to breathe. If you run out of breath, you will start shaking and your concentration will be broken, which will have a definite problem for your score. Most of the time I prefer to practice in such a way that I use my breathing to form a rhythm for my shooting, so that I have a specific way of measuring my rhythm while busy shooting. Your rhythm is very important because shooting 6 rounds in 5 seconds is no use if you have 30 seconds left. It is a very good thing if you can try and use as much of your time allowed as possible. That way you will concentrate better on what you are doing, and you will also be able to shoot better because you will be able to breathe in between your shots. The timing of your event is very important to get used to how much time you have left and for each section of the shoot. If you can break it up into certain time periods for each different position, it will be easier for yourself, so that the easier positions you shoot faster, and the more difficult ones like your weekend shoot, you shoot a little bit slower. But you must learn to do that consistently the same, so that you do not the one time take it slowly and the next time rush. Also, you must keep in mind that something can go wrong, and therefore you have to look at having enough time to rectify any problems with something that goes wrong. First thing that you will have to do on each and every different distance and position that you will be shooting from is to actually draw your firearm. So when you're going into your position, your hands will be hanging loosely next to your side. When the buzzer goes, you will slide your hand up, grip your gun in the way that you would like to shoot it, bring it up to midway, grab it with your supporting hand, re-grip your gun. This is a very important thing, since especially on the quick draw you have a tendency to take it just ever so slightly at the angle, and then you have difficulty acquiring your sights as well as keeping a constant grip. Then you might push it out either to the left or the right side, or whichever direction the gun was pointing when you draw the gun. So from the draw you go up, grip the gun, re-grip the gun, make sure that it is 100% the way that you want to use it, and then go clamp it up with your supporting hand and go to the shooting position that you need to shoot in. Making sure that your gun is correct in your hand is the most important thing of the draw. It's not necessary to be able to draw at a very quick rate, but making sure that your draw is clear out of your holster, nothing that snags or drop your gun or something like that, and then make sure that your grip is correct in your hand before you can shoot. The first position that you will be shooting from is from standing unsupported, so we will deal with that first. Your position of your body will be parallel to the target. Your feet next to one another, shoulder width, so that you do not have any funny, strange type of positions on your feet. So stretching your legs apart or putting your feet at strange angles, like putting it sideways out. That will give you quite difficulty in balancing yourself. So you place your feet next to one another, around about shoulder width, and parallel to one another, with your shoulders parallel to the target. From there, you will go for your draw as the buzzer goes off. Make sure that your grip is correct. Take your double-handed grip position and go up. When you go pick your firearm up, make sure that the gun is around about the center of your body. Do not bend your head to either side or let it go down. Having your head and your torso up straight, picking the gun up to the center of your body. Keep your elbows ever so slightly bent. If you have it in a locked, straight position, the recoil of the firearm will go into your body, and it's more difficult to reset your body than just to place your hand and the gun back into its position. So it's better to use your elbows as shocks than it is to use your body to recover from the shots. From there, it's up, having rhythm while you're shooting, remembering to breathe, reload, eject your cases, speed loader. When you do the speed loading, it is important to grip your speed loader as low down on the loader as possible. That gives you more control over the tip of your rounds, so that you can align your rounds better into your cylinder. Make sure that you look at two of the rounds, not only one. If you focus on two of them and make sure that they go straight into the cylinder, the other 4 rounds will follow suit, and it will be easy to reload. From there, you just push forward, your speed loader will eject the rounds into your cylinder. Quick close, drop your speed loader, make sure that your grip is correct again, and there you go up for your last 6 shots. Also make sure that you use as much of your time as possible, and look at your watch when you are doing the reload, so that you know how much time you've got left, especially at the 12 shots in 35 seconds at 25 meters. It is important to know how much time you've got left. When you come to the section of the shoot where you need to make use of the barricade, the following is the best way to make use of your barricade. As usual, especially at 25 meters where you go for the left side of the barricade, you will already be drawn, so the gun will be in your hand. Make sure that it is correctly placed in your hand the way you would shoot unsupported. Then you put your left hand just behind the line of the barricade. This is not the actual barricade, but it's just for demonstration purposes that I'm using it. So you place your left leg on the line of the barricade so that you're just behind the barricade. Then you place your right leg, right foot a little bit to the front of your left one, and relax that leg totally. You shift your body weight over onto your left leg so that your torso is still upright and straight. From there, you place your gun, your supporting hand against the barricade to use that for stability. The way that you will be doing it is by placing the knuckle of your index finger and middle finger against the barricade, and there it will support your hand. Your thumb of your supporting hand is pressed against the barricade like that. So there will be 3 points of contact between your supporting hand and the barricade. From there, you place your gun hand into your supporting hand the way you would as standing unsupported. Just make sure that after each shot you go back to the original position. You have a tendency to slide down after each shot, which makes you bend forward to be able to see your sights. When in this position, make sure that you stand close enough so that you do not need to lean into your barricade, but you can still stand up straight and only use the barricade for support. you will, from that position, you will be able to control your firearm, and with your head up straight, it will be the best for the specific position that you're shooting from. After the left-hand side, left-hand barricade shoot, you will always go over to your right-hand barricade shoot. From there, it's a quick reload as always. Make sure that you have a positive ejection of the rounds into the cylinder, and close the cylinder as you move over. Doing in the right hand of the barricade is exactly as the left side, and just the opposite. Put your right foot on the line, left foot a little bit forward, grip your gun as you would always, left hand against the barricade, once again the knuckles of the index finger, middle finger and thumb up against the barricade, and you place your gun inside of your supporting hand. And you shoot your 6 rounds as you would always do. Remember to shift your body weight onto your leg, which you are using to the side that you are shooting, so that your whole body moves over to that side. So you do not have to lean over, which will cause you to lose your balance. There is a variety of ways to kneel, but the two that I will be demonstrating is the following. The first one is to draw your gun. As always, make sure that your grip is correctly, cover it with your second hand. Then you go down on both your knees onto the ground and place your buttocks on top of your heels of your feet. This way you will have your torso in exactly the same position as standing unsupported, where you will be sitting on your heels and shooting in this position. Arms bent ever so slightly, torso up straight as for standing position. Exactly the same, shooting from there. This, however, doesn't give you any support on your arms or your gun. What I prefer to do is to go down on my shooting hand's knee, parallel to the target, and then my supporting knee towards the target, so that I have a 90-degree angle between my two legs. This way you have the most stability possible. In this position, if you just turn around like this, you can either sit on your heel of your foot like this with your feet up, or you can put your foot down totally like this and sit on top of it. Both ways are allowed. Depends on your personal capability, which one you prefer. From there, you'll take your gun in your shooting hand as always, but take your supporting arm, place it on the inside of your knee and roll it over. By doing this, you will take all of the loose skin and muscle at the bottom of your arm and roll it over so that it is in a block position there. This way, you will not have a ball-on-ball situation like this, where your elbow rolls around on your knee. You go a little bit past the ball of your elbow, put it on the inside, roll it out, lock it. Then you can place your gun hand into your supporting hand, and you have a much better support there. From there, your body is 45 degrees to your target instead of parallel to the target as it would usually be. In the sitting position, there's quite a lot of things that keep in mind while moving into that position. The way to do that is first of all to draw your firearm and make sure once again that it's gripped correctly. From there, you go down into a sitting position with both your buttocks down on the ground. You use your shooting hand's leg to pull it up and place your foot as down on the ground as possible. It's not always possible to put it flat down, but you go as close as possible. From there, you take your supporting hand's leg and move it across. So that you cross your legs like that. Also, don't let your leg hang open like that. Put it closer so that you have a stable position there. Then you place the back butt of your revolver into the hollow on the outside of your knee, not the inside. Put it on the outside there, and you wrap your supporting hand around your gun the same way as you would for standing position. This will then be your position for sitting and shooting. If you hang open like this, you might roll around. If you find that the recoil of your gun let you roll back, just push your feet away from your body, which will pull your center of gravity to the front, but then you will have to bend forward a little bit more, and you can shoot your 6 rounds from there. From there, you will be required to go over into your prone position. Make sure after each set of rounds that you check your time and know how much time is left for that section of the shoot that's still required of you. If you run out of time, you will lose a lot of points, so you must make sure that you know exactly how much time is left. From the sitting, you will roll over into the prone position. Otherwise than previously used, a roll over prone is not allowed. So you may not have your body at the angle to your arms for which you will be shooting. Your body must be straight behind your firearm, and therefore it will be quite a difficult position to get used to. Now, in this position, there's a couple of things to look at. First of all, your gun may not touch the ground. So what you do is you place your hand as if you would grip your gun normally, but place your little finger flat on the ground. Then you place your gun on top of your little finger so that it doesn't touch the ground, and wrap your fingers around your shooting hand as usual. And that way you will have the most support from your supporting hand for the shoot. Your gun will be very stable and you will be able to shoot comfortably that way. If possible, make sure that you do not have the direct cement underneath your grip like I have here, because during the shot being fired, it might squash your finger ever so slightly, which might cause uncomfortable feeling in your finger. From there, your elbows are bent like always, taking the recoil into your elbows instead of into your body. With your neck pushed backwards so that you can see your gun. Try not to bend over with your head. Try and keep your head up straight as much as possible. From there, your body straight behind the gun, and you cross your legs just to have a little bit more comfort. You may not pull your leg up like this, it must only be crossed like that. You may not do anything more than just crossing your legs like that. Shooting like this can be done, but it feels uncomfortable, so it's easier just to cross your legs like that.